Afrika na watu wake. Ibariki Afrika. Ibariki Afrika. Tubariki watoto wa Afrika. Mungu ibariki.
Would you like to learn the beauty of basic engineering and scientific mathematics for ordinary diploma? Or would you like to master the beauty of different modules or courses that you have to cover when you are taking ordinary diploma? Maybe that's the questions you have been asking yourself, and I would like to tell you that today you have met with the right answer for that question. How are you, everybody who is watching this fantastic video? I'm very happy, and I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you, all the national and international viewers, into this moment of cracking out and learning the beauty of basic engineering and scientific mathematics for ordinary diploma students. My name is Olenjolai Moko TAYAI Losingo. Just as simply, you can call me Olenjolai. I thank God by His own grace, His beauty in me, His gift of engineering. Formally, I'm electronics and telecommunication engineer, but informally, I'm electrical engineer and computer statistic. I thank God also by His own grace that His beauty in me, the gift of teaching. So I'll be standing in three positions in this lecture or in this video or in this program. The first two positions, I'll be standing as the engineer. I'll be standing also as a teacher, and I'll be standing as a mathematician. I thank God by His own grace, He has built the gift of mathematics in my blood vessels. So I give God all the glory and all the praise. So I will take this opportunity to welcome all the national and international viewers into one of our online platform or online institution that's called Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania and Square Bracket Olenjolai. Simultaneously, I will take this opportunity to welcome all our national and international viewers into one of our online official YouTube channel that's called Online Diploma Polyinstitute of Tanzania and Square Bracket Olenjolai. Possibly this might be your first time, you're warmly welcome. Possibly this must be your second time, third times, or even nth time. You're warmly welcome into this fantastic official YouTube channel, where that and even into this fantastic online institution. Simply, we are focusing to provide content, so we are focused on training and teaching ordinary diploma about the beauty and the way they can master different modules or courses that they have to counter when they are pursuing ordinary diploma. I am a Tanzanian. This is our national flag. I'll be using the syllabus of United Republic of Tanzania, but remember that basic engineering mathematics and basic scientific mathematics, these are cross-cutting or universal modules or courses that every student at this level in every country has to cover this content. So whether you're an international student, don't be frustrated or discouraged because I'll be focusing on the syllabus and curriculums of United Republic of Tanzania. That should not be the case. The issue is the trigonometry effect that I'm going to teach you in this session will be the same like the trigonometry that you used to cover in different aspects of your life. So, my dear student, I would like to ask you to pay attention into this fantastic moment. Again, if it's your first time, I would like just to spend at least 1 minute for you to register yourself permanently before we dive into our today's lecture, which is lecture 5. Okay, so the first step, we ask you to make sure that you have an email. In case that you don't have an email, you have to go into Google and ask you how I can have a new or open a new email. Next, we ask you to sign in for YouTube. And then this next stage, we ask you to search Online Diploma Polyinstitute of Tanzania and Square Bracket Olenjolai in your YouTube application. Afterwards, we ask you to click the round buttons which has the national flag of Tanzania. Again, so you can follow these steps together for you to register yourself permanently. Once you click that, it's called just like a welcoming poster. Once you click it, then you have already arrived into our Online Diploma Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania and Square Bracket Olenjolai. So from there, you will see a button written subscribe. Please click it. Then the icon of the bell will appear. We ask you to click it and then choose the options of all. Then from there, you have already registered yourself, and the good news, there's no any charges or any fees, any registration fees. And the good news, another good news again, is we have only one lifetime registration. So you don't need to register yourself several times. When we'll come back, you'll find actual that it means that you'll be joining straightforward and enjoying the contents that we are providing. At this moment, we are contributing, so we are sharing or we are distributing our contents by using the YouTube. Later on, we'll be adding some more universal or just online platforms for many students to make sure that you can go through it. Well, so let us go into the session, into today's lecture. Before I do the quick review of lecture 4, because we'll be focusing on quick review of lecture 4, we are in departments of basic engineering and scientific mathematics. And the modules of the course we have is called trigonometry, vectors, and complex numbers. This course or these modules is well taught to the first year ordinary diploma students in engineering and ordinary diploma students in science. Simply in Tanzania, we call it the National Technical Award Level 4 or NTA Level 4. So this is the first year module. So because the first year module, we like to welcome all the ordinary diploma students into the fantastic and good moment for you to learn the beauty of techniques. That means the beauty of technical engineering, because we are preparing best technicians. So stay tuned. We'll be together. So we add chapter 1. We'll teach you 3 chapters in this module. The first chapter is called trigonometry, the second chapter is called the vectors, and the third chapter is called the complex numbers. So we are in lecture 5, excuse me, this is not lecture 4, we are done with lecture 4. This is lecture 5, which is titled as Identities and Double Angle. Say with me, Identities and Double Angles. Are you ready to go inside of what you have prepared today? Okay, so let us go. So it's a kind of more mathematics contexting. So let us do the quick review of lecture 4. Lecture 4, it has been titled as unit cycle, odd and even function. So if you do remember that we say that a trigonometric function is considered as even function. If you do remember even function, if and only if obey this condition that ff negative x is equal to ffx. And if you do remember, we confirmed that only cosine only cosine and cosec, only cosine and sec are the even function, because cos of negative x is equal to cos of positive x. Also, we have proved it together with you that sec of negative x is equal to sec of x. All right, that is about even function. Then we discussed, or we talked about odd function. We say that an odd function is a function which ff negative x is equal to negative ffx. And I have mentioned, or we have proved that 4 trigonometrical functions are odd function. Tan of negative x is equal to negative tan of x, and we left some homework to you. Then we told you that tan of what? Not tan, excuse me. Cot of negative x also is equal to negative cot of x. Then we have what? Cosec. Cosec of negative x is equal to negative cosec of x. Then we have what? Then we have what? Sine. Sine of negative x is equal to negative sine of x. And then we have what? So these are the 4 odd functions. Then we discussed about the unity cycle. Simply say that the unity cycle is a cycle whose radius is 1. That's what we've been discussing. And then we drew the coordinate the xy plane, that is Okay, so we said this is first quadrant, this is second quadrant, this is third quadrant, this is what? Fourth quadrant. So that's what we've discussed. In case you've missed lecture 4, you should not be disappointed. Just access it in our official YouTube channel at code online, Diploma Polyinstit of Tanzania, square bracket Olenjolai. Once you are there, we ask you to go into the playlist and then find the playlist written Trigonometry for NTA level 3, NTA level 4. Okay, so let us go into today's session, or into today's lecture, which is lecture 5. I'm going to teach about identities. I will touch about compound angles, and then I'll teach about double angles. Are you ready for that? So let us go inside. So let me start with first of all the word called the identity. Stay with me, identity. This is very important terminology in trig. So you can ask yourself as a fundamental question, what is identity? What does it mean? What do you mean when you say identity in maths or in maths? So identity, we say that this is a function. Simple definition of identity, we say that what is an identity, or in trig, in trigonometry? Simply say that an identity is a function, or formula. So we say that this is the function or formula involving trigonometric function trigonometric function, which are true, for all angles, for which the function are defined. Which the function is defined. So that's the meaning of identity in trig. So identity is the function or formula involving trigonometric function. So it involves trigonometric function, as I told you in lecture 3, involving trigonometric function, which are true for all angles for which the function is defined. That's the meaning of of identity. Which the function is is defined. Identity means that the function or formula involving trigonometric function which is true, not are true, which is true. So involving trigonometric function which is true for all angles for which the function is defined, because the function should be defined in particular angle. So that's the definition of identity. So in this topic of trigonometry, whether we are teaching advanced secondary students or we are teaching ordinary diploma students, we have to teach you so many identities. Why? Because in different aspects of trigonometry that we'll be dealing with, whether on problem solving or on dealing on particular concept, we'll be using these identities. So we'll be recalling them. So I would like to teach you and present to you, ladies and gentlemen, the first identity, which is called identity 1, which is it's a formula that you've been using since you are in ordinary secondary education, right? So you have to be careful when we be teaching these identities. However, that we'll be teaching in different ways because we'll be proving them. Because sometimes these identities might appear in exams as a question. So because we want to prepare our students to solve real-life problems, as we stated before, our main focus here will be focusing on what? Also, we like to prepare our students to pass any test or any final exam. So, join identity. So this is identity 1. Today, I will teach you not less than 10 identities. So this is identity 1. So you have to stay tuned and be more energetic because Olenjolai has prepared good news for you. So the first identity is identity that we know, which is cos of theta plus what? Sine square of theta. This is equal to 1. So this is the first identity. So this can be turning at a question, right? So question. So prove that cosine of any angle square plus sine of any angle square of the same angle square, this is equal to 1. So what if you meet with this question? It looks like simple, but if you have never done any practice, you won't succeed to solve it. Solution. The first step, we ask you that sketch out, or it means that sketch the right angle triangle. So the right angle triangle. So sketch the right angle triangle. Then you have to recall one of the theorem that we have taught you since you are foreman. So suppose that this is point A and this is point C. So this is point B. So the opposite side of point A is A. The opposite side of point B it is B. The opposite side of point C or the side C is C. So suppose that here we have our angle theta. So that is a right angle triangle. Alright? It's a right angle triangle. So if you recall the definitions of the trigonometric function, cosine of angle theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So the cosine of the angle theta for this case is equal to adjacent, with the adjacent of the triangle ABC or ACB. It's the adjacent is R, so it's A over C. Case we say that make A the subject. So A is equal to C cosine of angle theta. So for that case, A is equal to C cosine of 40 of angle theta. This is equation 1. Then you have another case, sine of the angle theta. Okay? Sine of angle theta. Okay, sine of angle theta. This is equal to from definition, it is opposite of hypotenuse. So opposite of the triangle theta, of the angle theta, it is B of hypotenuse, which is C. So if that's the case, you say that B is equal to say C sine of angle theta. This is equation 2. Okay, so that's the first step that you have to follow. So the second step, ladies and gentlemen, of proving that given equation. Second step, we say that you have to recall Pythagoras. Recall Pythagoras theorem. So recall Pythagoras theorem. So Pythagoras theorem for this triangle is C square is equal to A square plus what plus B square. So this is equation 3. Okay? So that's the Pythagoras theorem. It's question 3. So we go into the third step. So the third step, we say right now substitute equation 1 and 2 into equation 3. Into equation 3. Substitute equation 1 and 2 into equation 3. Substitute equation 1 and 2 into equation 3. So to substitute them, so you have c square is equal to what is value of a. So a it is what? It is c cosine of angle theta. So c cosine of angle theta, but it is a square. So this is squared in. And then b is equal to c sine of angle theta, but square. Okay. So remember again, we said that sketch the triangle at once. So we said that we are considering we want to show the right hand side is equal to the left hand side. That's all. Okay. So C, we said that for this case, C, if you open bracket C square, it is C square. Then cosine square of angle theta plus what? Here C square, then sine square of 40 of angle theta. What is common there? It is c square. So on left hand side you have c square. On right hand side you have c square outside of the bracket, so you can have a square bracket. Then you have what? Cos square of theta plus what? Sine square of theta. Right? So divided by c square, and here divided by c square. So c square over c square, this is 1. So then we have what? Cos square of theta plus what? Sine square of theta. So hence shown. So you say that cos square of theta plus what? Sine square of theta is equal to 1. Hence proved. Hence proved. So we have already proved that the expressions on left hand side is equal to 1. Wonderful. If you enjoyed that, the first identity, we'll be recalling this identity in many scenarios of trigonometry. Okay? So I think that you are ready now for me to take you into the second identity. So this is identity 2. So identity 2, we say that we like to prove to you that tan square of angle theta plus 1 is equal to sec square of angle theta. So this we can turn it into the question. So suppose that this is question 1, this is question 2 in that sequence, and this is question 3. So the question 3 asks you that prove that tangent of angle theta square plus 1 is equal to sec angle theta. Alright? So that is. So to prove this, we say that solution, we don't consider left hand side or right hand side, we have to recall the first identity. Do you enjoy the basic engineering mathematics? And do you enjoy the beauty of basic scientific mathematics? Tell me in the comment section, please. So we ask you to recall the first, recall identity 1. Identity 1, we say that we had cos square of angle theta plus what? Sine square of angle theta is equal to 1. Okay, so to prove this one, it means that remember the relationship between sine, cosine, and tangent. So we say that the next step, suppose this is question 1. Okay, so the second step after recalling that is not enough. So we say that divide equation 1 by cosine. What? By cos square theta to both sides. So where is equation 1? We have cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 1. So we have to divide by cos square theta to both sides. So divide here by cos square theta and divide here by cos square theta. Okay? So cos square theta over cos square theta, this makes what? 1 plus. So here we say that sine of angle theta over what? Cos of angle theta. So then this one is squared, is equal to what? Is equal to 1 over cos of angle theta, and this one squared. Okay? So if that the case, here we have 1 plus what? Sin theta over cos theta, it is tan squared. It is tan square of angle theta. This is equal to what? 1 over cos, I told you it is sec. So this will make sec square theta. Hence shown. So hence proved. So we have already proved it. Hence proved. So I've already proved the second identity. At this moment, you may see that to prove an identity is simple. Will matter in different occasions of what? Of trigonometry. So keep them. Keep this in your mind, keep that in your mind, but you should not crave. The only expression to remember is this one. Then you can find it into 1, you can derive it into 1, you can derive it into 2 quickly as well as possible. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you identity 3. Identity 3. So the third identity is this one. It is cos angle theta plus 1 is equal to cosec square of angle theta. So this might be our question 4. So prove that. Okay, prove that cot square of angle theta plus 1 is equal to what? Is equal to cosec square of angle theta. That's the question that we have. Okay? So, we say solution. Solution. So the first step we have to recall the first attempt. Recall identity 1. I said that identity 1 is a fundamental identity. So in cos square of theta, then plus sin square of theta is equal to 1. It's equal to 1. Okay, so suppose that this is question 1 for this problem. So the second step, in order to use equation 1 to reduce identity 3, you have to say that divide by sine and theta to both sides of equation 1. So on this side we have cos square of angle theta over sine square of angle theta plus what? Sine square of angle theta over sine square of angle theta. This is equal to what? 1 over what? Sine square of angle theta. Okay? So cos square theta over sine square theta, this will make what? Cos of angle theta over sine of angle theta. So this one should be squared plus sine square theta over sine square theta. This is plus 1 is equal to what? 1 over sine of angle theta. And this one should be squared. So cos theta over sin theta cos theta over sin theta, but remember, cos theta, I taught you in previous lecture, over sin theta, this will make what cot of angle theta. So if that the case, you say that cot square of angle theta plus 1. This is equal to what? Is equal to 1 over sine of angle theta, but square. 1 over sin theta, that will make what cosec. So cot square theta plus 1 is equal to cosec square theta. So hence proved. So we have already proved it. The third identity. So the lecture 5 is still simple and still normal. Later on, I think that near to the end, it may be a little bit different, or it may be a little bit new for you, so you have to concentrate and pay attention. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me take you into the identity. So, let me take you into the next subtopic, which is, this also is a fundamental. It's a fundamental for what? This next part is a fundamental of double angle. So, let me teach you about compound angle. Compound angle. So in Trig, we have 3 basic trigonometrical functions. Again in Trig, we have 60 compound angles formula. We have 60 compound angles formula. We have 2 compound angles for sine. We have 2 compound angles for cosine. That makes total of 4. And we have 2 compound angles of tangent. The good news, we have told you this all about these compound angles in ordinary secondary education. So at this level, we just remind you, and possibly we might do some few maneuvers in tangent, because maybe in the ordinary level you didn't cover well about how you can deduce the formula of tangent. And actually, when we're teaching advanced secondary students, we used to teach them how to derive these formulas, right? So stay tuned. So compound angle. So let me start with the first part. Let's say let's start with compound angle of 40 of sine. So compound angle of sine as one of the trigonometric function. So there we get identity 4. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you identity 4. So the identity 4, we don't need the syllabus, or curriculum does not need us to prove. It just needs us to remember and use. So sine of angle A plus angle B, this is equal to what? Sine of what? Sine of angle A times cosine of angle B plus sine of angle B, sine of angle B, then times cosine of angle A. So this is one of the identity. Similarly, if we introduce negative sine, so this will be what? Sine of angle A minus B, this is equal to what? Sine of angle A, cosine of angle B, sines or the function, so minus what? Sine of angle B and cosine of angle A. So this is identity 4 and identity 5. For advanced secondary students, we teach them how to derive the compound angles. And discovered it in the book that's called the Advanced Pure Mathematics by Frontal. Okay. So we go for Roman B. Roman B, let me present to you the compound angle. Remind you, because at this level we have taught you already, possibly forgot, compound angle of cosine. So the compound angle of cosine is a little bit different from compound angle of sine, so you have to be careful here. Because if you do a mistake on recalling the compound angle of either sine or cosine or tangent, then you will be lost in deducing the double angles or the triple angles or the tetra angles if you want to go furthermore. Okay, so you say that this will make identity what? So this will make our identity 6. So the compound angle of cosine, we say that cosine of angle A, this will make what? Cosine of times cosine of angle B minus sine of angle A multiplied by sine of angle B. You have to pay attention to these compound angles because this is the fundamental, or it's a key. The compound angle is a key for you to derive derive double angle of sine, cosine, and tangent in a very simple way, or in a simplest way. Then we have cosine of what? A minus B. This will make it cosine of angle A times cosine of angle B plus, so this will be plus instead of minus, plus what? Sine of angle A times sine of angle B. So this is identity 6 and this is identity 7. At this level, we are not allowed to teach you how to derive. I know how to derive this compound angle, identity 4, identity 5, identity 6, identity 7. So by God's grace, I know how to derive these compound angles. But your syllabus of NTA level 4, according to NATE, does not allow me to teach you how to derive. But just ask me as your teacher to remind you. Identity 7. So identity 7 is what? Cosine angle A minus B. So remember, sine is odd, cosine is even. So here we have cos of A, then cos of negative B is equal to cos of B plus sine of A, and sine of negative B, it is negative sine, that's why we have plus sine of 40B. So these are very important identities that will make them in future. Then C, which might be a little bit challenge. Let us focus on noting on compound angle of tangent. Compound angle of tangent. So the compound angle of tangent, there's no need for you to claim them, but you might remember if you do too much practice, you can keep it in your mind. It's not important. So simply we say that when we want to find tangent of angle A plus B, so this might be a next question, okay? Next question. So simply you have to remember the relationship between tangent, cosine, and the sine. So tan A plus equal to sine of angle A plus angle B over cosine of angle A plus angle B. That's all. Okay? So we say that this is tan angle A plus B is equal to sine, which I've shown sine of A plus B is equal to sine of B times cos of A. So this is equal to sine of A then cosine of B plus what? Sine of B, sine of B, then cosine of angle A plus B. So this will make what? Cos B minus what? Sine A sine B. Okay. Okay, so to get tangent, we have to divide by what? So we have to say that on the left hand side we have tangent of angle A plus B. This is equal to sine of angle A cosine of angle B plus sine of angle B cosine of angle A, then divided by cosine of angle A times cosine of angle B minus sine of angle A sine of angle B. So suppose that this is equation 1. So, okay, so let's say this is the first step of our derivation. Okay, so you go to the second step. Second step, we say that divide equation 1 by cosine of angle A cosine of angle B to cross numerator and the denominator. Okay, so to divide it, then we get it numerator and denominator of right hand side. Right hand side. So left hand side we have what? Tangent of angle A plus B. Tangent of angle A plus B. This is equal to sine of angle A cos of angle B plus sine of angle B cos of angle A divided by cosine of angle A cosine of angle B. Then on the denominator side we have what? Sine of angle A. Now cosine of angle A cosine of angle B minus sine of angle A sine of angle B divided by cosine of angle A cosine of angle B. So on the left hand side we have what? Tangent of angle A plus B is equal to what? Sine of A cos of B over cos of A cos of B. This will make what? Tangent of angle A plus sine of B over cos of B makes what? Tangent. Cos of A and cos of A cancel. So remember that. If you take this numerator divide by this one, cosine of B and cos of B will cancel, so remaining sine of A and cos of A. And if you take sine of B times cos of A divided by cos of A, cos of B, so cos of A and cos of A will cancel, remains the sine of B over cos of B. So tan of A plus tan of B, then divided by what? So in denominator, cos of A times cos of B over cos of A times cos of B, that makes 1 minus sine of A over cos of A, so that will make sine of A over cos of A, and then we have to multiply with what? We have sine of B over cos of B. So then on left hand side we have what? Tangent of A plus B. This is equal to what? Tan A, then plus what? Tan B divided by 1 minus sin A over cos A, that will make tan A, then sin B over cos B, that will make tan B. So this is very important formula, very important compound angle formula of what of tangent, and this will make what? Identity 8. Okay, identity 8. So your homework right now is to deal with what compound angle of So follow the same steps. This is your homework 5, okay? And this is question what? Question 5. Prove that. Simple homework. Prove that tangent angle of A minus B is equal to what? Is equal to angle A minus tan of angle B divided by 1 plus tangent of angle A times tangent of angle B. Do it. If you check this identity 8 and the identity what? Identity 9, they look similar but they are different. So this, ladies and gentlemen, we call it identity what? So this we call it identity 9. So we have taught yes 9 identities right now of trigonometry. So if you manage to show this then in your mind, you know how to prove how to prove 5 identities among 9 identities that I've told you. So make sure that you do this homework and submit your homework or submit your solution in the comment sections of this video. Use the comment section to give us feedback whether you understand. Use the comment sections to ask a question. And use the comment sections also submit the solutions will be shared with you about the new about the new method for you or submit your solution. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, after you have finished that, I would like right now to, after you finished your homework, let me take you into the next part of lecture 5. And the next part, I would like to teach you about double angles of the 3 trigonometrical functions, sine, cosine, and tangent. Double angles. So say with me, double angles. Because our lecture today, our lecture 5 is stated as identities and double angles. So double angles. For the ordinary diploma students who come from advanced secondary education, who are graduates of advanced secondary education in Tanzania, they are familiar with double angles. Possibly they crammed it, or possibly they still remember it. But whatever the case, I will take considerations that you have never heard anything about double angles. So I will teach them, I will teach you from the key point. All right, are you ready for that? Let us go into the business. So we say that what is double angle? So simply say double angle is the trigonometrical function. It's a trigonometrical function. So you have question 6. What is a trig? So double angle, we say that simply is a trigonometric function. It's a trigonometric function which involves double angle, which involve double angle. Okay, which involve double angle. Okay, as a double angle is a trigonometric function or formula which involve double angle, or twice. Simply say that twice of the angle. At the simple or at the meaning. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us start from the simplest double angle. So, let me teach you about double angle. Double angle of sine is the simplest double angle. So this will make identity term. So you say that show that sine of 2a is equal to 2 sine of a cos of a. Show that sine of 2a is equal to 2 sine a cos a. It might be simple if you know. It's very simple question, but if you don't know, it's not a simple question. Solution. So let us consider the left hand. The first system say that consider left hand side of the given equation, which is sine of 2a equal to what? Twice sine a cos a. So let's say this is equation 1. So if we consider the left hand side, which is given as what? Sine of 2a. So if you consider sine of 2a, ladies and gentlemen, this is equal to sine of A plus A. So sine of A plus A, that makes what? Sine of 2A. Alright? So suppose that this is equation 2. So let us recall one of our identity. So the identity we have to recall, we say that we can recall identity 4. Or simply in other words, because in exam we cannot write that we call identity 4, simply that we call compound angle, of sine, because this is double angle of sine. So the compound angle of sine, we have taught you that sine of A plus B, this is equal to what? Sine of A times cos of B plus sine of B cos of what? Cos of A. Okay. So for double angle, we say that let A is equal to B. So if that's the case, for this expression 3, okay, and this is expression 4, so you can substitute. So it means that on the left hand side you have sine of A plus A, this is equal to what? Sine of A, then times what? Cos of A, because A is equal to B, plus sine times what? Cos of A. So sine of A plus A, this makes what? Sine of 2A. Then you have sine of A cos A plus sine of A cos A. This makes what? Twice sine of A cos of A. That's it. So hence, sure. My dear student, I would like to insist to you about double. The concept of double angles is very important when we'll teach you about calculus. There are some polynomial functions. No, there are some, not polynomial function. Yeah. There are some integrals that you cannot solve them without using the concept of double angle. So you'll encounter the concept of double angle when we will teach about calculus, especially in NK level 5, and even a little bit in NK level 6 when we'll teach you about calculus or about integration. But when you go into studies or bachelor studies in engineering or science, and we encounter some mathematics modules or engineering or scientific modules, we call them high engineering and scientific mathematics modules or courses, then you will see also the importance of concept of double angle. I'm teaching those different levels, that's why I want to insist you. So don't learn the concepts of double angle in trigonometry, vectors, and complex numbers. Then once you've passed it, or once you pass the exam, you throw them away. I want to tell you that we are building a strong foundation for you to master the future or different concepts of mathematics once you continue to upgrade yourself in engineering. So that is all about identity 10. So let us get now into the next thing, double angle, which is a little bit challenging because for the first one was double angle of sine. Double angle of cosine, it can be expressed in 3 different forms. So you have to listen carefully. So B, double angle for it. Double angle of cosine. Double angle of cosine. So that will make your identity. Identity 11. Identity 11. So the first question, which this was what? This was question 7. So this is question 8. Show that cosine of 2a is equal to cosine square of a minus sine square of a. So this will make your identity 11. Okay, I've already written there, identity 11. So this is identity 11. Remember these identities because we just see in exams you should not write maybe identity 11 or whatever. In exams just you have to record identity, that's all. You don't need the numbering. Numbering is just for the purpose of learning, right? Okay. So you have to show this. Good. You can pause the video and try, because the principle we are going to use in this case is the same like the principle we have used in solving question 7. Okay? So solution. So we'll be given cosine of 2a is equal to what? Cos square of a minus sine square of what? Of a. This is question 1. Okay? First step. First step, we say that consider equation 1. Consider right hand side of equation 1 above. So the right hand side, we say that here we have what? Cosine of 2a is equal to what? Cosine of a plus a. That is the first step. Then we go for the second step. Second step, we say that recall the formula. Recall what? Cosine of angle A plus angle B. This is equal to what? Cosine of angle A, cosine of angle B, minus sine of angle A, sine of angle B. So for the double angle, remember, you have to let it A is equal to B. A is equal to A is equal to B. That is for the double angle. So means if A is equal to B, so cos of A plus B is equal to cos of A plus A. This one will make what? This one will make cos of angle A times cos of angle A, then minus what? sine of angle A times sine of angle A. So on left hand side, cos of angle A plus A is cos of twice A. Cos of A times cos of A, this will make it cos square A minus sine of angle A times sine of angle A will make sine square A. Okay? So simply here we have what? Cos of 2A. This is equal to what? Cos square 2A minus what? Sine square A. Hence what? Hence show. So we have shown the 11th identity. Alright? If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section below on your left hand side there. The descriptions of the video. And in case you feel from your heart that you want to offer your freely thanksgiving, don't hesitate to ask our telephone number 075 974 5331. Will be received and used effectively to pay for the running costing in order to make sure that because you have a vision of recording more than 300 ordinaries in the entire country of Tanzania and worldwide, okay, so if you offer a free Thanksgiving, will be received and used effectively to figure out any costing that required to make sure that you person with knowledge scientific mathematics for ordinary diploma students. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still in what is double angle of cosine. Let me present to you identity 12, the second form of double angle in 12. So it means that these are formulating a question. This will be question 9, and the questions ask you that to prove that cosine, you should not claim these identities. Just you have to know how to derive them. Okay. So show that cosine of 2A is equal to twice cos square A minus 1. So this will make it into 12. So you see, just still double angle of cosine. Double angle of cosine, and this one double angle of cosine. Solution. Solution. Okay, so the first step, usual, we have to say that it depends. It depends. We may recall the previous expression, the compound angle of cosine, or we may recall identity 12. So we go straight further. The first step, we say that you recall recall. I think that it's easier for my students to recall this. Recall cosine of 2A is equal to cos square A minus what? Sin square A. So if you have this identity, which is cos 2A is equal to cos square A minus sin square A. So suppose that this is equation 1. So we like to eliminate cos psi on right hand side. Okay? So right to consider means that we have to consider the right hand side. So we say that eliminated. So the second step, eliminate sine square A on right hand side of what? Of equation 1. So to eliminate it, we have to recall the first identity, which is stated that cos of A, cos the square of A, plus sin square of A is equal to 1. So let us make sin square the subject. Sin square of A, this is equal to 1 minus cos square of A. So this will make equation 2. So we go for the second step. Say that substitute equation 1. Equation 2 into equation 1. Substitute equation 2 into equation 1. So here we have what? Cos of 2A is equal to what? Cos square of A minus sin square of A. So cos of 2A is equal to what? Cos square of A minus 1 minus what? Cos square of A. So this will make what? Cos of 2A is equal to what? Cos square of A minus 1 plus cos square of A. So this will make cos 2A is equal to what? Twice cos square of A minus 1. And show. Yeah, what you have here is what you asked me to show them. So hence proved. That's all about identity 12. Then you have identity identity 13. So I still have only 2 identities. Now let me leave this at the homework. Okay? So this is homework. You have to follow the same steps that I taught you before. Homework 5. As this is identity 13. So show that cosine of double angle, which is 2A, is equal to, or let us change an angle because the students can claim. Okay? Sine of 2B or sine of 2 theta is equal to 1 minus twice sine square of angle theta. So show it. That's for homework. Okay, so this should be homework 5B. The first one was homework 5A. Okay, so it's simple. Just you have to use the 2 identities. They come from the angle of cosine and the identity 1. So once you manage to prove it, I would like to insist in my dear student. Remember this identity. Remember the identity of remember double angle of cosine of sine. Remember this identity. Remember this identity. And remember this identity for the rest of your life in mathematics. Whether you are in ordinary diploma, you are preparing yourself to become a best competent technician, or whether you are in undergraduate or you'll be pursuing your undergraduate studies, you will encounter these identities in different aspects of engineering and mathematics. So my dear student, learn it, keep it in your mind, you should not cram. The good news that we have also an official, official online training institution for undergraduate that we call the Online Undergraduate Polytechnic Institute of Tanzania, square bracket OLENJOLAIM, where you learn the beauty of higher engineering and scientific mathematics for this moment as one aspect, but also you learn the beauty of the Word of God, the beauty of worship God, the beauty of praise. You learn the beauty of electrical engineering. You learn the beauty of computer programming in near future. Keep praying for us. Okay, so that's the homework. Okay, so now we go for C, compound angle, no, double angle. Double angle of what? Of tangent. Double angle of tangent. Say double angle of tangent. Double angle of what? Of tangent. So the double angle of tangent, they say that this will make identity what? Identity 14. And this is the question we have in on spot. This is question 10. So the question 10, we say that show that tangent tan of 2 theta is equal to what? Is equal to twice tangent of angle theta over 1 minus tan square of angle theta. That's the formula. You may use any common letter to name the angle. You can use A, B, theta, alpha, etc. So solution. This is one of the simplest questions. Okay, so the first step, we ask you to recall what? Compound angle of what? Of tangent. So we say that tangent of angle A plus B, this is equal to what? Sine of angle A plus B over cosine of angle A plus B. And this one, we've already proved it, is equal to tan of angle A plus tan of angle B over 1 minus tan of angle A, tan of angle B. So simply say the tangent of angle A plus B is equal to what? Tangent of angle A plus tangent of angle B divided by 1 minus what? Tangent of angle A, tangent of angle B. We go for the second step. So second step. Second step, we say that for double angle, say that let A to B equal to B. A is equal to B. So on left hand side, we have tangent of A plus B, which is A plus A, is equal to tangent of angle A plus tangent of angle A, again because A is equal to B over 1 minus tangent of angle A multiplied by tangent of angle A. So angle A plus A, this makes what? 2A. This is equal to what? So tangent of angle A plus tangent of angle A, this is equal to twice tangent of angle A over 1 minus tangent of angle A squared, or tan square of angle A. So this is very important on our angle 40 of tangent. So we say that don't round like this in exam. So hence what? Hence show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of lecture 5. Thank you very much for joining me. I thank God who have created me in His own image and likeness. I would like to invite you to join me in the next lecture, which will be lecture 60, when I'll teach about the T formula. Every concept that you will need, or you'll be asked, or you'll be tested in exam, in a testing 1 or in the final exam of trigonometry, vectors and complex numbers. But that's one part of it. The second part of it, you will need so many concepts of trigonometry. Trigonometry is a foundation. It's a fundamental topic of the rest parts of mathematics, or the rest parts of engineering mathematics. So I advise you, review these contents, make sure that you write in your mindset, you keep them for the rest of your life, and you will remember me. That is the promise that I will. So, in case you have any question about lecture 5 or any other lectures, please don't hesitate to ask your questions in the comment section. Again, we'd like to hear from our students. We'd like to hear your feedback, whether you understood what we've been teaching you or you have to improve. And also like to hear your testimony, how these programs has been helpful in your life. Because according to our research, many students are suffering in learning engineering, basic engineering and scientific mathematics for ordinary diploma across the entire country of Tanzania in most institutions or colleges or universities. So by using these programs, you might find that you have a breakthrough to learn and master basic engineering and scientific mathematics. So may God bless you and keep you until we meet in the next session. This is Olenjolai from beautiful country Tanzania. Remember to subscribe into our official YouTube channel. Remember to share the link of this video and the link of our official YouTube channel to other ordinary diploma students for them to take advantage. And remember to read the descriptions for you to discover our other official YouTube channel that we use to share contents every day. Remember to subscribe and make sure that you visit it online, or you visit it. It means that you'll be online in the next day, because we'll upload or we'll publish lecture 60 for you. So don't miss lecture 60. Join me there. I'll take you to the next stage when I'll teach about T formula and other concepts which are very important for you. Possibly I may teach about the factor formula. That's what we have to expect it, and get prepared for the good news. Keep enjoying the beauty of basic engineering mathematics. I believe that from the beginnings of this topic to this point, you get the right answer for you to enjoy the beauty of mathematics, isn't it? Okay, so stay tuned and keep enjoying the beauty of basic engineering and scientific mathematics for ordinary diploma students.